Alright, so this is probably the most wild and niche video I have ever done. I was not intending to make this. I have had 3 videos in the works that I've been working on since last December, and I ended up dropping all 3 of them to make a video on this, because this ended up being one of the most interesting rabbit holes that I've ever happened upon. This video is going to start with me talking about watching a silly Japanese advertisement with a friend, and it's going to end with me mentioning Romania at least once. That is not a joke. You will understand later if you watch the video. So without further ado, let's talk about how I got here, eh? This all started in the early days of March. I had a friend staying over at the time, and while we were having fun, messing around and playing some games, we ended up going down the rabbit hole that is the weird and wonderful world of TV advertising. This was mostly spurred on by us watching the streams of a certain streamer associated with vines and green mushrooms, as one of their running segments at the time was them watching and reacting to compilations of TV commercials. While some of them were funny, some of them were bad, and some of them were just plain weird or disturbing, there was one particular advertisement that caught my friend's attention. Now, if you've been around the internet long enough, you may have already seen this advertisement before, as Japan is well known for the bizarre things that they put on their TV screens, but my friend, she absolutely loved this ad. For the next 2 days, every so often I would hear her just go, "Kue, kue, kue, Chocoball," and honestly, I can't even blame her. The song itself is such an earworm. It gets stuck in your head so easily. Sometime after she left, she sent me the YouTube video again, and in the comment section, I saw someone who claimed that the people in the video were actually comedians, which made sense considering the somewhat silly tone of the ad itself, which got me curious. Who were these people? And that, my friends, was how it all began. The more I thought about it, the more hungry my curiosity got, and the more it needed to be sated. And so, I got to work. I ended up going through several uploads of this same advertisement, combing through the comments to see if anyone had any information at all on who the people in the video were. During my search, I came across another comment, which claimed that the people in the video were idols, which conflicted with the previous comment that I found. Knowing that this was the internet, the heavenly bastion where nobody tells a fucking lie.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
This only made me even more curious about what the actual truth was. In my search, I found a Japanese upload of the commercial, and it was by scrolling through the comments of that video that I finally got a name. Canada. From there, it was only a quick few Google searches before I found my guys. And to answer the question of whether they were comedians or idols, it turns out that, well, they were both. The advertisement itself was for, again, Chocoball, which was a Japanese chocolate confection made by the massive confectionery company Morinaga, that was founded in 1899, with them creating, among other things, haichu, which you may be more familiar with. And when I say that Morinaga was massive, they were massive. Do you know how, like, in anime and a lot of Japanese media, women will give chocolates to men on Valentine's? Yeah, apparently the reason for that is because Morinaga made advertisements in the 1960s centered around the idea of women giving chocolates to men, which is strongly believed to be the reason for the current culture surrounding Valentine's Day in Japan currently being in place. Which is just wild to me. Like, imagine being such a juggernaut that your ads literally shaped a part of Japanese society. But sorry, I'm getting distracted. I just could not continue without mentioning that. Anyway, this particular ad for Chocoball was actually released in 2010, and it isn't even the first of its kind. The whole kue 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 Chocoball thing has actually been a song associated with the brand since at least 1987, and the two people shown in this advertisement are Kanada Satoshi and Kawashima Akiyoshi, aka Kawashima of Legend. As mentioned previously, the two were part of a comedy duo called Hania and have been active for quite a while. While I can't find any concrete source on this, because finding out any information at all about these people on this side of the internet is harder than trying to find a drop of water in a damn desert, I think I can make a pretty confident guesstimate that they've been active since roughly 2005 to 2009. Kanada and Kawashima were at least fairly successful as comedians, with this live journal page I found surrounding Japanese comedy groups claiming that they won Best Comedian in MTV Japan's Student Voice Awards in 2009, while also claiming that, quote, Hania really is insanely popular at the moment. As well as this, both of them have social media accounts with fairly decent followings, Kawashima in particular streaming on Twitch of all places, where he plays League of Legends, God bless his soul, and their YouTube accounts in particular having videos with over 1 million views. Couple that with the fact that Morinaga were already well known for getting pretty high profile celebrities to star in their advertisements, and I think it's pretty safe to say that they weren't exactly failures in their comedic career. As well as this, in 2018 they both joined Yoshimoto Zaka 46, a Japanese idol group that acted as a sister group to Nogizaka 46, another idol group who is most notable for being billed as the official rival to AKB48. Yes, that's AKB48. It doesn't seem like the decision for them to be a part of this group was misplaced, however, as while I couldn't find much on Kawashima, from what I could find, Kanada can actually sing pretty well.
例えば君の顔に昔よりシワが増えてもそれでもいいんだ僕がギターを思うように弾けなくなっても心の歌は君で溢れているよ
Gee, I wonder what's going on with the idol unit at the moment. Oh. Well, rip in peace I guess. And so, there you have it. Mystery solved. Those were the guys in the silly little Japanese commercial that I watched. But that isn't where this rabbit hole ends. Oh no, we've got one more level to dive down into, and it involves something that a little birdie told me. Or rather, something a little birdie showed me. You know, because the Chocoball mascot is a little birdie and he had a TV show and it was a joke, you know, like a play on words. Anyway, Kyoto-chan. Kyoto-chan was the mascot for the Chocoball brand, who began to steadily increase in popularity when he started to appear in TV commercials featuring him. This led to Kyoto-chan getting a self-titled anime of his own in 1999. The show ended in 2001 with a pretty hefty 91 episodes over the course of its roughly 2.5-year run, and with this, we have reached the second level of this rabbit hole. You see, I don't think it will surprise any of you to know that the footage of this show was, at least for a time anyway, incredibly rare. After the show finished airing, the only existing way to watch the show was through DVDs which were sold in very limited quantities, with box sets of the show being harder to come by and being sold for ludicrous amounts of money. Just typing in Kyoto-chan into Google produces almost no results of any video footage of the show, not even on any streaming service or totally legal websites. There's only a single episode of the show on the Internet Archive, and hell, even on YouTube, typing in Kyoto-chan will only get you a few videos pertaining to the show, with only 2 of them being an episode of the show in full. At first I thought this was just due to the show only being broadcast in Japan for obvious reasons, but it turns out that this wasn't Japan exclusive. It just so happened to also be broadcast in, you guessed it, Romania. When I was looking for footage of the show, I found this out due to quite a few Romanian people leaving comments saying that this was the first anime they had ever watched when they were a kid, or that they remember this being on TV but not understanding what the characters were saying. Digging further, I found out that the show was aired not only in Romania, but also in Hungary, Taiwan, the Czech Republic, South Korea, and in India, which aired the show as late as 2010. This Indian version of the show may or may not have aired an English or Hindi dub of Kyoto-chan, but this is unverifiable as no actual footage of this version of the show exists. Just a few articles mentioning that a brand new show called Kyoro-chan will be airing on the Indian television channel Pogo. However, not all hope is lost. By doing even more digging, I was able to come across more info on the show. I learned that a whopping 78 of his 91 episode run had been found, albeit the Hungarian dub version, and some of the original Japanese episodes had also been found. I managed to find links to these episodes, most of which were actually hosted on YouTube after all, but some of which have actually been nuked by Aniplex themselves. This is why I've been very careful about actually showing off footage of this show, not because I don't want to get this video nuked or my channel copyright struck, I mean that is a reason, but also because I'm worried about shining too much of a light on what little archives of this show remains and having that be wiped off the face of the earth faster than you can say. Which is why I won't be providing links to any of these archives, but I'm sure you can find it yourself if you look hard enough. This whole rabbit hole ended up having a pretty big happy ending however, as I was ultimately able to find what seems to be a big archive of every single Kyoro-chan episode ever made, as well as a few bonuses like DVD rips, music, and a few versions of the show that had Romanian subtitles. Again, I won't be providing links just so I can have at least some anonymity surrounding where I found all of this, but again, trust me, you'll find it if you look hard enough. But there you have it. Kyoro-chan has essentially been found. While there are still some mysteries like the Pogo dub and the English dub that probably existed at one point but never actually saw the light of day, I think there are just some things that will never truly have an answer. I really hope that, by shedding a bit more light in the show, I could potentially drum up enough interest to get at least a few episodes of this show fan-subbed. It would be really cool to actually be able to understand what this show had to offer across its 91 episode run. And visually, this show honestly has a lot of charm to it, and I'd love to be able to just sit down and enjoy a few episodes of it. That would honestly be pretty cool. But that is the end of the Chocoball Rabbit Hole. If you're still here, thanks for watching. I'd love it if you liked, subscribed, and told me what you thought about this whole Kyoro-chan thing. As soon as I found out about this, I knew I had to make a video on it, and I don't know if y'all been able to tell on this video, but I have been so excited to talk about this. I just find all of this so fascinating. But I've got things to do, video said it, so we'll have to part ways for now. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one.